oh, this is, my balance is so bad on this side. Huh. Checking the box, maybe not your balance. Typically the cleanest innervation from one specific nerve root. I need my elbow to be right in my hip, and I need my other foot squared off because I want to push with my thigh, my glute and my thigh, and I'm holding distally on her foot, not on her toes, but right around the ball of her foot there. And I'm gonna say, hold that there. Don't let me move it, because we want to break her. If you're just testing once, you're gonna miss a lot of things. Are you actually getting useful information from your lumbar muscle testing? More specifically, your myotomal testing in your lumbar evaluations? In this episode of our lumbar skills series, we're not only unpacking the importance of myotomal testing, but also some fine details around it. Myotomal testing is not just for identifying weaknesses, but it also is a significant part of uncovering potential nerve root involvement that is often hiding right in plain sight. So, before we dig into actually getting into the testing, we have to discuss a few things. One, when you are looking at any pain in the lower extremity, whether it's belly button or below, front or back, right? Even though technically that's not your lower extremity. Either way, anything you feel in the groin, the hip, the thigh, the hamstring, the knee, the foot, the ankle, doesn't matter, anywhere down below, it can be coming from the lumbar spine. Even if you have local tissue swelling, right? And you have bruising, you can have an issue that is generated by the lumbar spine. Let me explain. When you have a nerve root irritation, you do not need to have pain. And a common misconception is that the absence of pain indicates health of the nervous system. That's one of the reasons why there's so much recurrent neck and low back pain, because patients are treated until they're moving well and until they get out of pain. No one's monitoring their neurological vital signs to see that their nervous system's actually recovered, and they just get out of pain. They still have neurological vital sign changes and their nervous system's not recovered, so it's just kind of waiting to flare back up again. When you have a nerve root irritation, even without pain, it leads to oftentimes muscle weakness, because what do nerves do? They give you your reflexes, your sensation, and your strength. They allow you to move, feel things, and have reflexes. So if you have a nerve root irritation, and let's say normally you have this much strength, now you only have this much strength, but you're still asking the muscle to do this much. Why do you think somebody chronically rolls their ankle? Yes, you could argue that it's proprioception and ligaments stressed out and all those other things, but oftentimes it comes down to the fact that they have an underlying nerve root irritation that's not giving the everters the strength that they need. So when you have your entire body weight on it, you can't react and activate it quickly enough or hard enough to then prevent the ankle roll, right? Same thing with recurrent hamstring strains. Somebody's always pulling their hamstring, they're doing all the right rehab. Why does it keep happening, right? It keeps happening possibly because they have a nerve root irritation. And these are all things that we have seen time and time and time again. People just don't know how to uncover them. So when we get into looking at the myotomal testing, right, we can do a quick screen of like the S1 nerve root just by doing a standing heel raise. Do you want to stand up for me? Go ahead and go palms up for me. I'm just here for balance, right? And this is what you're gonna do. Have them go palms up, hold on underneath, just for balance. Stand on your unaffected side. Let's say it's your left side, right? Now, come up on your toes 10 times, nice and controlled. And when we do this, what we're looking for is changes side to side. Is one side more steady than the other? Does one side fatigue out faster than the other? I have no idea. Is that 10?
9.
So close.
10.
All right, go ahead and switch sides. Just balance for a second. And then same thing on this side. Come up 10 times. And as she's doing this, I'm just feeling how much assistance she needs to maintain her balance. Cool, that feels pretty similar side to side. Mm-hmm. Awesome, right? Sometimes what you'll see is people are pretty steady on one side and they're like, oh, this is, my balance is so bad on this side. And it's like, huh, checking the box, maybe not your balance, maybe you got a weakness. Or they'll start using their quad, they'll bend their knee and catapult themselves up, or they'll come crashing down. So that's a quick screen. Go ahead and lay on your back here. And when we're doing this, we need their heels to be hanging slightly off the table. So you can either pull them down, which sometimes I'll do, or you can just ask them to scoot down. I'm very particular with where and how they're laying, because if they're, scoot up a little bit so your heels are on, If their heels are on, now you're getting blocked by the table and you're gonna get more resistance. You're gonna have a hard time stabilizing. It's gonna get in your way. And if they're too far down, now when I go to stabilize, it's gonna be much harder because they're, well, even that is decent. I would wanna be a little bit less, but sometimes people will lay down like way down here. And if you're trying to stabilize the leg, now you're gonna just have too much motion that goes on there. So like Goldilocks and the Three Bears having their heels just hanging off an inch or so is perfect, right? What we have to remember is that all muscles have multi-segmental innervation, right? And we wanna look at the ones that kind of have typically the cleanest innervation from one specific nerve root. All right, everybody can be wired a little bit differently, so you have to be aware of that fact and be able to put the puzzle pieces together. But if we're gonna look at L4, right, that's gonna be a combination of inversion and dorsiflexion, right? So we're gonna have her bend her knee here, and we're gonna bring our table down, even though I just brought it up for some reason. Sometimes I just like to play with the buttons. And we need to make sure that when I get into this testing position, I need my elbow, right? I need my elbow to be right in my hip, and I need my other foot squared off because I want to push with my thigh, my glute and my thigh, and I want to use my hips to push. So I'm not pushing with my arm, I'm using my leg, and my hip is just pushing into my arm, so it's really bone on bone. And my hips come around in a circle motion around the axis of her ankle here, which is going to invert and evert, okay? So for L4, we're going to come in, have her hold up and in, and I like to, as long as they can tolerate it, just pull them closer to me so the table's not in my way. I'm gonna put my hand down, scoop underneath, put the weight in my arm on the table, so I'm actually leaning here, right? This again comes right in, and she's gonna hold up and in, and I'm holding distally on her foot, not on her toes, but right around the ball of her foot there. And I'm gonna say, hold that there, don't let me move it. And I'm gonna start slowly pushing, hold it, hold it, hold it. I'm just looking to see when does it start moving because we want to break her, all right? So hold it, ready, 1, 2, 3, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. She's starting to move there. We don't need to get all the way through that range of motion. When you're first learning it, it can be easier to do it that way, but really what we're looking for is when does she break? Now, sidebar here, when most people are doing muscle testing, they're doing make tests. So the difference between a make test and a break test is, in a make test, you're not breaking their position and moving them. You're just seeing if they can activate and hold. The problem with that is you have no idea, are they 50% through their strength, 80%, 90%, 10%? You have no idea. So a lot of times people will do things like this. They're like, all right, hold your leg here. Don't let me move it. Hold, 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 hold. And they just stop and they're like, all right, I've produced a good amount of force. I have no idea how much she has left in the tank. Need to get to a position where it's ready, 1, 2, 3, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and she's breaking and moving. So now I know where she runs out of strength, right? So we're gonna test each one of these 3 times. Ready, 1, 2, 3, hold it, hold it, hold it. Good, and again, ready, 1, 2, 3, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then one more time, 1, 2, 3, hold, hold, hold. Good. Why do we wanna test it multiple times? Well, because you need a very significant amount of weakness to pick up on it on the first test. So if you're just testing once, you're gonna miss a lot of things, right? A lot of times it starts off strong, second time strong, third time, maybe you notice a little bit of difference on one side, and then 4th test, 5th test, 6th test, completely gone. But minimum of, the strength is completely gone by that point. Minimum 3 tests, otherwise you're gonna miss a lot of stuff. So we would test the uninvolved side and then test the involved side. Right, ready, 1, 2, 3, hold it, hold it, hold it. Good, and again, ready, 1, 2, 3, hold it, hold it. One more time, 1, 2, 3. And a key point here is that when I'm stabilizing, her malleolus is going right in the middle of my palm, right? I'm not holding onto her leg, I'm not holding onto the bottom because then I'm blocking things myself. I just want to stabilize distally and proximally with my arm here, but allow the ankle to move freely, all right? So that's L4. L5, you can test, both please, with great toe extension. And here, I don't really care if they go into some dorsiflexion, that's fine. But we wanna look and see their ability to maintain great toe extension. So we want it not through the interphalangeal joint, right? But through the metacarpal phalangeal joint, or metatarsal. I always do that, I always say metacarpal when I'm talking about metatarsals. So we're holding, or she's holding up. I'm going thumb on the ball of the foot, stacking, butting my fingers up on top of her toes. Elbows are in here, and we're moving around the axis of her toe. So where that thing bends from, that's where I'm trying to create that motion, not in the middle of her toe. All right. So hold them both up. Ready? Don't let me move them. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. I'm just leaning back. My elbows are in, right? They're not flared way out. They're not tucked fully in, but they're comfortably in. My lats are on, and I'm just rocking my body weight back and moving down. So moving around the axis of her toe. You could also go thumbs on top and put your knuckle here on the bottom and then hold there. Ready? 1, 2, 3, hold it, hold it, hold it. I don't do that a lot because back in 2015, I had a motorcycle go through my arm here. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a giant divot. There's no muscle there. And I've got whatever that sign is where you can't hold a piece of paper. And you go to hold a piece of paper, someone pulls it out and they do this. That's me, right? Because of the nerve damage, the physical nerve damage that I have there. So I like to go this way. So that's L5. And then for S1, we're gonna go into eversion, right? With eversion comes along a little bit of dorsiflexion there. So hold there, and it's gonna be the complete opposite of the L4. So we're gonna hold right here. Ready? 1, 2, 3, hold it, hold it, hold it. Now here with this one, I actually don't like this because you see how my forearm has to angle up a little bit because I brought the table up for L5. So I'm gonna bring it back down so my forearm is parallel to the floor. So hold here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Good. And again, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Good. And then one more time. 1, 2, 3. Hold, hold, hold. Good. And then we would, just like we did at L4, do the opposite side. Now, if you find weakness and you're like, but maybe they just have a weak ankle. Pretty simple solution. Just do a little traction alleviation. So you can have them bend their knees here with enough room for you to get your forearm underneath. Hold their feet down, jam your forearm up underneath their calves here, lock your elbow in and just push off. So I'm doing a little side shift with my body here, right? And just push off. Watch, and when you see their nose start to move, that's all full traction. You get a little unloading and relief sensation there. Yeah, not much, right? When I relax, you feel things kind of like come back together, so to speak. Yeah, so just get a sense of them like pulling apart again. Feel that there? All right, so you can do this, hold it for 10 seconds, do it 2, 3, 4 times, and then retest the area that you found weakness in. If it's stronger, then you've got some load sensitivity and nerve root irritation. If you're not convinced or they're not convinced, you can actually just create loading by having them, as long as it's not too irritable for them. Just do a single sit-up, right? Adds that compression back, have them lay back down, and then you retest again. So you'll find weakness. If it gets stronger with the unloading, nerve related, and then if it gets weaker again after reloading, you get 2 checks in the box that say nerve weakness. And that is a very powerful wow moment for the patient, right? They're gonna be like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that's so crazy. You're a wizard, Harry, right? You're a magician, but you're not. You just understand how the nervous system works. So if you guys aren't testing myotomes like that, you're missing a ton of information, okay? And if you're not doing a little traction alleviation and potentially a reloading provocation, then you're missing a ton of things that are gonna give you a lot of information, help you get a lot of people a lot better, a lot faster, and stop having those patients that just kind of always have that one thing that never goes away. Hopefully you guys found this episode helpful. I'm Doc Raj, this is Doc Caitlin. We're the co-founders of Performance Rehab Authority. If you guys took anything away, let us know in the comments. If you go to apply this and you find something, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you on the next episode.